The 49ers come into Philadelphia with a top 3 offense in points and yards per game. Slowing down San Fran's offense will be crucial for an Eagles victory. Here are my 4 keys for the Eagles defense. Through 12 weeks, Brock Purdy is first in quarterback rating with a rating of 112.3. On first and second down, he leads the NFL in passer rating by a wide margin with a rating of 119.8. This 49ers offense, led by Kyle Shanahan, is very run-heavy as they rank first in the NFL in run-pass ratio at just under 50%. Though they haven't played in many tied or trailing scenarios, they still stay committed to the run in those situations, ranking 7th in run-pass ratio. The 49ers offense is really built off of just a handful of run plays, but each run play has different tags or adjustments to deal with different defensive looks so that they can still run their bread and butter plays. They also add a lot of window dressing and eye candy through a plethora of shifts and motions to confuse defenses. And when defenses get aggressive trying to stop the run, they will hit you with an array of different play action or boot actions to generate explosive plays. As a result of their run scheme and complementary passing attack, the 49ers have the second best offense in the NFL on first and second downs. The first place team is run by former Shanahan disciple Mike McDaniel in Miami. On first or second down, Brock Purdy leads the NFL in yards per pass attempt at 9.9. The difference between Purdy and Tua in second place is the difference between second place and 17th place. The 49ers had several top 5 and top 10 first down offenses with Jimmy Garoppolo, but Purdy's ability to push the ball downfield and extend plays with his legs has taken the offense to the next level. But here's the thing, on third down and even second and long, Purdy's quarterback rating falls to average or below. He's 22nd out of 42 qualifying quarterbacks on all third down pass attempts. When faced with third and 7+, he's down to 28th out of 42, and on third and 10+, he's 32nd out of 38 qualifying quarterbacks. These rankings get worse when he throws past the sticks on these downs. The same is true for his completion percentage. In other words, Purdy is executing Kyle Shanahan's scheme very well when the offense stays ahead of the sticks, but he's also greatly benefiting from that scheme and supporting cast as well. Once the 49ers offense gets into longer down and distance situations where all that motion and play action are less effective, and they have to rely on a more conventional drop-back passing game, Purdy reverts back to about a league average quarterback. The first key to containing the 49ers offense is to win first down. Create negative plays so they're faced with second and long, and then hopefully third and medium to long situations. But that's easier said than done. So what are some ways that the Eagles can slow down this offense? It might sound counterintuitive to a run-heavy team, but you have to limit their passing attack. The 49ers offense creates so many explosive passing plays with their play action and boot action that they get down the field quickly, and as a result, they have faced the least amount of third downs in the NFL. The Eagles can't get beat on boot action, and I imagine they'll have a designated quarterback player on the boot action. They'll live with giving up a couple cutbacks on the 49ers zone plays if they can create negative plays or limit the 49ers explosive plays by having their defensive ends play the quarterback first on boot action. If you don't contain Purdy, he will roll out and find open guys. Now, the 49ers know defenses like to do this, so they have their own counters. For example, they come out in a bunch formation, fake run to the weak side, and have a player in the bunch pin the would-be quarterback player to give Purdy space to roll out. This does force the offense to leave a skill position player in pass protection instead of running a route, and generally when the offense has less players out in a route, that is a win for the defense, but they still have to cover on the back end. The 49ers will resort to other play action concepts if a defense is trying to take away the boot. They will use a split flow action and have the line slide one way while they have another player sift block on the backside. This keeps the quarterback in the pocket but protects them against aggressive edge defenders. They'll also pair the action while pulling a guard to the same side. This usually gets the linebackers to bite up on the run, but smart defenders will be aware that they might get this type of split flow action when they see an offset wing player on the opposite side of them. We've seen defenders beat the blocker to the spot in the past. In addition to getting to the quarterback, the second level linebackers and safeties that rotate into the box need to be aware of the spots that the 49ers offense is trying to attack, especially when under center. The 49ers have some very heavy tendency in regards to under center and shotgun run pass ratios. When under center, the 49ers run on 75% of their plays. When they pass, the majority of the time it is play action passes designed to hit deep crossing routes behind the linebackers. It will be important for the backers to understand that they need to get depth when they recognize pass from under center. You'll often see linebackers turning and running to get depth when facing the 49ers. I also wouldn't be surprised to see the Eagles have different play calls for when the 49ers are under center versus in shotgun. For example, When under center, the 49ers send only 2 guys vertical on the majority of their play-action passes. Here, the Cardinals are running cover 4 against one of the 49ers' favorite formations and route concepts. By playing quarters, the 2 deep defenders whose receiving threats they are responsible for matching if they run vertical did not run vertical, so they can now cross-key the deep post and deep crosser. Those routes get bracketed, but hopefully the Eagles' safeties try to make a play on the ball. We again see a similar principle by the Bengals, though they pass off the routes in a slightly different way. The Dolphins' offense shares a lot of the same philosophies as the 49ers' offense, and we saw the Eagles show similar looks as well, though the Dolphins were in gun on this play. In shotgun, the 49ers dropped to 14th in run-pass ratio. Their pass concepts change as well. This is where they run more of their split-flow play-action passes, and they are usually trying to hit dig routes with Ayuk behind the linebackers. Utilizing variations of cover 3 buzz and cover 1 robber is a great way to counter. These coverages have a safety playing from top down, as opposed to having 2 linebackers or other second-level defenders playing from the bottom up. The Niners love trying to attack the middle of the field. Purdy doesn't have the greatest arm talent to push the ball outside like the top-end passers, but he throws over the middle with great touch, timing, and anticipation. It will be important for the Eagles to take away the middle of the field and force Purdy to throw outside. Slowing down the run will of course be important, but limiting their explosive passing plays is a must. When looking at the run game, it can be quite overwhelming at first. Shanahan will use a variety of different motions and shifts. They'll often come out in a formation, shift one player to see how the defense reacts, and then motion someone else. They likely have 2 play calls on the majority of their early down plays, where they can kill the play and get to a different one if the defense gives them a certain look. While the 49ers offense is confusing at first, once you start charting and paying attention to formations, type of motion, who is motioning, and understanding where the offense wants to attack, you start to see patterns and tendencies. When you watch good defenses on film, you'll start to see their defenders point out where the run is going, or alerting their teammates when someone is going to motion before it happens. Smart defenses create negative plays against the 49ers when they start recognizing and anticipating what the offense is doing. Let's check out this play in the Bengals game. The 49ers shift Kittle, trying to see how the defense will react. The 49ers love trying to attack the B-gap bubble, so when the Bengals D-line doesn't shift, the 49ers keep their original play on. They then use a jet motion with the wide receiver. The 49ers do not have a high tendency to run outside to the same side the jet motion is going, particularly when it's a receiver in motion. That does change if it's a tight end or a fullback in motion. They usually use that jet motion to hold backside defenders while they run outside zone the other way, or to widen a linebacker while attacking downhill. The nickelback recognizes the B-gap bubble, the wide receiver jet motion away, and that a receiver is aligned tight, ready to block down on him, so he shoots the gap and tackles the running back for a 4-yard loss. But the thing is, no matter how much you dress up a play, the players still have to go out there and block up their guys. The Eagles have a clear advantage on the defensive line, as the 49ers offensive line is not very good outside of Trent Williams. Assuming they play disciplined at the second level, they should be able to reset the line of scrimmage for much of the game. They also are one of the few teams that are good enough to win up front with their line, which allows them to play in more too high coverages. Winning the individual matchups is the best way to create negative plays in the run game. Since 2021, Sean Desai has faced Shanahan 4 times. In addition to that, he's faced Shanahan disciples Sean McVay and Mike McDaniel 4 times in the past 2 years. Nick Sirianni coached Eagles teams have faced the 49ers offense twice since 2021. Plus McDaniel in week 7 of this year. This Eagles defense will be prepared to recognize formations and tendencies against this Shanahan scheme. The Eagles must get to 2nd and 3rd and long so their defensive line can take advantage of inferior pass blockers. Winning first down by creating negatives in the running game and limiting their explosive pass plays is a must. Elsewhere in the passing game, the Eagles are at a big disadvantage when it comes to matching up with Christian McCaffrey in the passing game, especially with Zach Cunningham out. I imagine the 49ers are going to try to exploit this matchup. CMC is 1st in the NFL in receiving yards and 2nd in receptions among running backs. He is an outlet for Purdy when deep and intermediate options aren't available, and Shanahan will get CMC isolated on option routes for low-risk, medium-reward plays. There isn't a great answer for the Eagles, as Nicholas Morrow doesn't have great short area quickness and change of direction. Christian Ellis is a good athlete at linebacker, but he's a very young and inexperienced player. They will probably decide to utilize more dime personnel on passing downs and try to get a safety, likely Reed Blankenship, matched up with CMC. In addition to that, the Bengals doubled CMC on a play in their game, and though I don't think the Eagles will do it, I'd like to see Desai throw one double team at him, as running it even just once will cause Purdy to keep that in the back of his mind as a possibility for the Eagles to come back to. There's not a great option for CMC, as the Eagles can't live in dime time all day. And as they work to take away the middle of the field, that will open up opportunities for CMC underneath. They will need to be good rallying and tackling CMC when he gets his opportunities. That brings me to the third key for the Eagles defense, and that is tackling. As simple as it seems, football is still a game of blocking and tackling. And if they can't tackle this 49ers team, it will be a long day. The 49ers are first in yards after catch and also first in yards after contact per reception. Despite being undersized, CMC is 11th in yards after contact on rushes thanks to his tempo, pace, and quick cuts. He's so subtle with an innate ability to shift his hips and lower body out of the way so he's not taking on full contact on many of his rushes. I think Tyreek Hill is the best receiver after the catch, but to me, Deebo Samuel is number 2. His build and contact balance is similar to Alvin Kamara, but he primarily plays receiver. He's 3rd in the NFL in average yards after catch and 6th in yards after contact per reception. Kittle is a low to bring down as well. Among tight ends, he's 4th and 7th in those same categories respectively. The 49ers do a good job of getting Kittle and Deebo the ball with space to make guys miss. If the Eagles don't tackle well, they will not win this game. Finally, the Eagles need to have Slay follow Aiyuk around the field. I'm not saying he needs to follow him into the slot all game, as Roby is good enough to keep up with him, but Aiyuk is a 49ers true number 1 receiver, and he is too quick and shifty in and out of his breaks for Bradbury to match up with at this point in his career. He's an explosive player, ranking 3rd in yards per target and 2nd in yards per route run. In particular, the Eagles need to be aware of Aiyuk on first down. He is 10th in the NFL in receiving yards, but get this, he's 1st in the NFL in yards on first down, while ranking 46th among all receivers in yards on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. Aiyuk is the biggest beneficiary of the 49ers' early down passing attack. I've already discussed how the Eagles can run certain coverages to help limit those routes, but having Slay on Aiyuk as much as possible will be the Eagles' best strategy. In addition to that, while Aiyuk definitely has ability to win on deep routes, the 49ers use him so much on intermediate breaking routes that either sitting on these routes or playing trail position to take away those routes would be a strategy that I would implement. We'll see what the Eagles do though. This is going to be a heavyweight matchup between two teams. The Eagles have the guys up front to limit the 49ers rushing attack, but the 49ers have still been able to run on other top defenses, so that is no guarantee of victory. But if the Eagles are able to limit the 49ers early down attack and force Purdy to throw on long down and distance situations, then this should be a game that the Eagles come out victorious.